right, welcome back to Shop Talk with Mr. Lang. This week we'll be doing our second episode of, instead of doing the chainsaw and like we did last week with a small tree, this week we're going to talk about a larger tree and how we get those larger trees to the mill to actually do some cutting of slabs and making some lumber. So one of the tools that we need this week is going to be this one right here, and this is called a winch. It goes on the front of the truck and it actually hooks to the battery inside, so it's got power. All it is a spool inside this area right here and some gears, and it just winds the cable out and it winds it back in so you can roll things up, which you'll see in a moment. But before we go to the log, I'd like to show you a little bit about the winch itself. One of the things that we have is a remote control that operates the in and out. It's got a switch on there, which I'll show you. And it also has an engage and disengage on there. And then my cable right here, and that's what's going to spool out in a second. I'll show a little bit about bringing it out and a little bit about bringing it in right now. All right, so to spool it out, I can't quite pull it, but if I push on the button, it lets me bring it out. And I can stop anytime I want, and I'll bring this to the log, which you'll see in a moment, and then I just bring it back in, pushing the button the other way. Now if you notice, I'm not bringing my hands anywhere close to the winch because it's actually a very powerful motor. It'll pull the cable in, and you never want to have your fingers get pinched or anything like that. So again, just like with the chainsaw, this is just for demonstration purposes, not necessarily because you're going to use one of these at home, but a pretty cool tool when you're working with giant trees. Another really cool thing about the winch is that you can get your kids to come over whenever you want. So this is another tool that I need to use when picking up logs. These are called log tongs, and basically they're a big set of tongs that can open, and the tractor can lift the log. They open and you drop them on, and then you go ahead and hook this to the bucket and it'll lift them up and then set them on the mill. Welcome back. So this is my wood miser. It's a bandsaw mill. It runs on tracks and it has a motor, and it just turns a big blade so that you can push the whole apparatus right through the log, and you can make horizontal or parallel cuts, and you can make a whole stack of lumber pretty quickly, just like these right here. This is kind of the similar principle at the end. This log will look just like that. So there's the beginning. I'm going to start it up and then we'll get going.
tonight. Let the jugs of wine get drunk. Let the truth be known tonight. Don't go let yourself hide. Go and sing to the mountain. Go and sing to the moon.
All right, so that was the end of the milling process. We hit a nail, so there was a little bit of a pause there. That happens sometimes. So we changed the blade, and that's why these top ones are a little shorter. But basically, we went ahead and milled out this whole slab, this whole tree, and all of that process of milling took about an hour. And then now the long part starts. You got to dry it, so it's gonna have to dry for a while until the moisture is down, and then it can actually be used as lumber to build furniture. So from the tree at my friend's house to the trailer, up here to the mill, put on the mill, milled by me and a little bit with Paco, and hitting a nail and everything else, one full day's work. It's a pretty amazing process, really. I love the smell of it. You can't get that through the camera, but it's cedar, which is a beautiful, beautiful smell. And the wood is really beautiful. Went through a couple bullets even, which was always a surprise. Somebody, for some reason, liked to shoot a tree, which is kind of sad, but they're mementos in the tree's life. And so after these dry, then they can be used to make furniture. So next I'll show you how to stack them, sticker them, and strap them. And then they're left for a few months, up to a year maybe, to dry. So here we are back at where the log is going to sit for the next few months. It's called stacked and stickered. The stickers are these little pieces here, and you put them in between each layer so that it gets a little bit of air flowing through the log, and that'll dry it out as it goes. The straps kind of help just keep it all together and tight, and it's best to keep it off the ground just to let it dry a little bit nicer. So once these things are all dry, then it's able to be planed and turned into some furniture, but that's a ways down the road. So that's it for now. Tune in next week as we explore something different. Thanks.